Two dudes with attitudes, let's go. It's the two dudes and our attitudes ruthless, aggressively speaking, so let's do this. We're Ryan and Denton, they here to get your attention. The 5-star broadcast shit, start to the ending. Whether it's the E or it's all E, the two dudes with the attitudes that bring the heat. Get the point, yeah, it's on, time to lock in. Listen to the podcast where they get it poppin'.
It's Two Dudes with Attitudes, of Wrestling podcast with your boy Ryan Enjoys Wrestling and the Heartbreak Dude Denton, and it is our AEW edition where we would cover all things Collision, Rampage, and Dynamite. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for continuing to subscribe, watch. Our views are always pretty steady now. I'm loving, at least on YouTube. I don't see all the stats. I'm not the man, the producer, like somebody over her. I'm just a random guy with a mustache, but we appreciate you guys. And we even got some comments this week, Ryan. We're starting to get there. Yeah, about damn time y'all comment. Thank you. Come on.
Thank you. Appreciate it. All the love, support. We need it. So
yeah, we need more than just thumbs.
Yeah.
I like the thumbs. I like the views, but let's get something else, right? I like a little tickle. But let's do this. We didn't have any news of this AEW. I don't want to get you confused. But so let's just jump into it. Like every week now, we have a combined episode. That's the AEW's new thing. They want you to sit through a whole 3 hours of television. So I will do Collision and Rampage separate, but together. Are you ready?
Go for it, yeah.
The BCC defeat Top Flight to open the show after Danielson speaks about how much he loves AEW, and that's why he's in Anarchy in the arena. Will Ospreay defeats Lee Moriarty. Brian Cage and the Gates of Agony win a squash match. After the match, Cage says he attacked Swerve because he's selfish. Selfish meaning Swerve. Swerve runs out and destroys Gates of Agony, and him and Cage have a stare down. That was quick. After a break, Swerve talks about everyone wanting him, and he'll fight Cage at Dynamite. Daniel Garcia defeats someone named KM. Dax Harwood struggles to defeat some guy named Tommy Billington. Backstage promo when Okada challenges Dax at Dynamite. Jack Perry says he's cool, and Christopher Daniel yells at the Young Bucks. Thunder Rosa defeats Robin Renegade. You heard that right. Thunder Rosa defeats Robin Renegade. Johnny TV, everybody. Nitro himself.
Back, baby.
Challenges Pac to a match. Hook says Jericho doesn't know him, but he will. And in the main event, Adam Copeland defeats Kyle O'Reilly in a match that seemed like it went on for 7.5 days. Until Rampage, the match is still going on. And they end up hugging it out. And Claudio is, what is he again? Claudio, is interviewed backstage, and he's not happy with Kingston and Danielson teaming up and wants him to retire healthy. Okay. Trent Beretta defeats Dalton Castle. Deonna Purrazzo to watch her match tonight. Brian Keith defeats JD. Copeland calls out Malaki Black and challenges him to a barbed wire cage match. That sounds necessary. At Double or Nothing, Deonna Purrazzo defeats Lady Frost. That's right, the girl from Mortal Kombat. After the match, Thunder Rosa tries to attack Purrazzo, but she runs away. Pac defeats Johnny TV. Womp womp. In the main event, after the match, the Bang Bang Gang pop up on the screen and tell him to keep his nose out of their business. And that's the Collision Rampage review. Did you get all that? Are you refreshed now? Do you remember it all?
I remember now. Yeah, feels like forever ago, but what are we like? This AEW, this entire episode was just a big colossal WTF. Everything with Rampage, Collision, all of it, from Claudio being upset that Danielson and Eddie Kingston are teaming up when they've teamed up before. Why wasn't he upset after AEW Revolution when Eddie Kingston and Brian Danielson literally shook hands and hugged after the match? Why wasn't he mad about that? I think Claudio and them have he's tagged with Eddie Kingston before too, but he's upset.
Kingston took his title, right? Is that why he's mad? But that was like 6 months ago. I don't.
Yeah. And then he's not even the champion anymore. It's Mark Briscoe. So
yeah.
and then from Dax Harwood struggling to beat the new Dynamite kid to everything, like the Robin Renegade Thunder Rosa match. It's just like this whole episode was a gigantic, colossal WTF for me.
The thing is that, yes, because once again, AEW is focusing on the matches, and I get that. If you want to be all about, we just throw out banger after banger after banger, so be it. But Dax Harwood right now is leading the way to fighting the Elite to stop them from taking over AEW, and you have him struggle against Tommy Billington. For one, I've never heard of him outside of this match, so maybe I missed something. Secondly, you're going to get Tommy Billington over right now? Now is the time to have Dax let Tommy Billington get over? Huh?
And struggle to beat him too, which makes no sense.
Billington looked like he was going to win. Most of them, it was like a long back and forth. Like, what the how does that make me think? Oh yeah, Dax is ready to take on just imagine NWO, right? They were facing Sting and Macho Man or whoever else they were facing in that match, right? And they're about to battle supremacy. We can't have a takeover. And the night before on Nitro, Sting wrestled freaking, I don't know, Conan, and had like a freaking struggle of a match, almost got beat 6 times. They wrestled for 25 minutes. And then Sting, would you feel confident? My problem with this whole week of AEW wasn't the fact that the product was bad. Matches were good. They did some cool things. I didn't hate it. I just don't understand Tony Khan's booking sometimes. And we'll get more into that. But I just don't Dax needs to look strong right now. That did not make him look strong. And then he wrestles again on Dynamite, which we'll get into. I just don't understand what the heck is right. What are we doing? We're not putting Jack Perry in matches right now where he's struggling to beat people. And I also want to talk about the Gates of Agony thing with Brian Cage and Swerve. I like having Swerve on Collision. Fun stuff. You're world champion. I just feel like this should have been more important. Does it seem like this is done now? And we'll talk about it on Dynamite.
Yeah, when we get to Dynamite, for sure. But
spoilers, I mean, we can lead into it. But, but they turned on him on the Dynamite before Collision. So that's 3 days. And then he took out the Gates of Agony by himself, tied them up on ring posts, beat the snot out of them with metal chairs and ring steps and so on. They're already done. That was it. There was
that's it. There's no payoff.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Good job, Gates of Agony. You had a good run. Way to turn on somebody just to get your ass beat 3 days later. That. I don't know. It was all just kind of weird.
That's why, I mean, the whole episode just felt like a gigantic WTF. And then Adam Copeland and Kyle O'Reilly was a great match, but the 100%, the ending where he's he's giving in to the negative energy, I guess, and he's almost about to turn heel, but then he doesn't, and he's like, what the heck did I do? And then challenging them to a barbed wire steel cage match at Double or Nothing. The match, I was excited already to see Malaki Black versus Adam Copeland. I don't need to see it in a barbed wire steel cage match. I don't. It just needs to be a traditional one-on-one match. I want to see, because now you're going to have to, there's going to be blood. There's going to be, people getting hurt, which is fine. But Adam Copeland's almost 50 years old. He's coming off of, he missed 9 years of his career with a broken neck, and he's coming into AEW. This is exactly what I didn't want him to do when he got to AEW, was these crazy extreme style matches. I wanted him to, just wrestle people, just wrestle and have the matches of your career, have the matches that you want to have. But barbed wire steel cage matches, that's I worry about his health. I do. I worry about his health in this. I worry he's going to do some stupid bump that's going to jeopardize his career and take years off of his career, what little time we have left with Adam Copeland. And this is the first singles match in a while we're having with Malaki Black, and it's got to be in a cage. I don't know. I feel like cage matches should be the blow off to a feud and not the start of a feud.
And even if they just did the cage, so be it. Barbed wire, why do we have to bleed in AEW to prove a point? Tony Khan, once again, is an attitude era boy. He wants AEW, he wants WCW, ECW, and WWE all piled into one. That's why he has Tony Storm making out with people. That's why he has blood constantly. That's why it's it's the whole theme of this week was good matches that were pointless. The BCC against Top Flight. Why is the BCC wrestling? And look who they wrestle on Dynamite. Why are we just having the BCC come out? Why is Danielson with the BCC right now? I don't understand.
Shouldn't he be with his new Team
Yes,
AEW teammates.
yes. Why are we not pushing that? Why are we? I was just lost. But let's talk about some good. There was some good on these two. I did like I do like the Bang Bang Gang and Pac stuff. I think it's fun. It's intriguing. I'm all for Jay Wright versus Pac, even if Pac loses. That's probably a foregone conclusion. But I also like what they're doing, Purrazzo and Thunder Rosa. I mean, heel talking shit. Watch my match girl has the match, and then when she comes out the challenger, she runs away in the audience, and then when she gets back around, she's like, "What? You're like, what? You want some?" Like, I love that's like stuff. That's how they should have done Deonna Purrazzo. I think when she came, she was a babyface and it didn't work. Her matches have been lackluster. She has not been as good as she was on Impact. She's been struggling to find her way in AEW. But now I'm kind of liking it. And Thunder Roses look good. I'm excited for that match. And once again, giving women a little bit of love right now. I mean, I always feel like women are showcased on AEW. Like when they show them, it's not just like, oh, here's our women. No, they're like being showcased, which WWE did a little bit on SmackDown this, but nonetheless, they're being featured. So I did like that. I am digging what's going on in that aspect.
Yeah, and I am digging these 3-hour AEW slots too. If it flies by, it's a lot of fun. I feel like the shows flow a little bit better together. I do wish that they would get their timing right, because you don't get that hour of Rampage. If Collision rolls over into the Adam Copeland Kyle O'Reilly match rolls and goes into 15 minutes into Rampage, and you only have 45 minutes of Rampage left. But other than that, I feel like it makes Rampage feel a little bit more important too. And you're getting a lot more action on Rampage, but it's also the stuff has a point, it has a meaning, there's stories behind it, and it makes it feel important. So these 3-hour blocks, I want them to keep doing it.
I agree. All right, ready to get into Dynamite?
Yeah, let's do it, because I got some stuff to say about this.
All right. Oh, somebody was upset. Yeah. All right, let's go. All right, the BCC defeat the Don Callis family to open the show. After the match, the family try to get at Moxley, and Claudio makes the save. Adam Copeland out for a promo, but he gets jumped by the House of Black, and they steal his wedding ring. I'm assuming they're taking it to a pawn shop. I don't know. O'Reilly out for the save, and he gets his ass beat as well. The Elite jumped Eddie Kingston over the weekend during an NJPW event, and now is out of his match at Double or Nothing. The Elite brag about it, and the Young Bucks have their own shoes, the Reebok pumps, because that's the era TK still lives in with his booking, y'all. That's right. The Bucks defeat Matt Sydal and Christopher Daniels, believe it or not. And after the match, they fire Christopher Daniels. Best part of it all, Jack Perry pours an energy drink on Tony Schiavone's head. How flippin' dare you? And Tony Schiavone sold that like a master. We can get into it.
That was great.
Tony Storm cuts another weird promo. I don't even know what she said. And Malaki Black with the wedding ring accepts the challenge from Adam Copeland. Hook beats someone up, I guess. And then Jericho and Big Bill come out. Jericho tells him he needs a qualifying match to earn his title shot. Swerve Strickland defeats Brian Cage. And after the match, the Patriarchy beats Swerve down. Nick Wayne breaks a picture frame over his head that had him and his family in it, makes him bleed. Hook will face Shibata to face Jericho, and Samoa Joe tells Hook to stay focused, which is weird. He looks pretty focused to me. I'm very confused by everything. All right. Tony Storm defeats Harley Cameron. Will Ospreay and Broderick Strong argue backstage. Mercedes Mone and Willow have a contract signing. Mercedes is booed. Willow is cheered. Mercedes slaps her, and Willow power bombs her through the table. In the main event, Okada defeats Dax. And after the match, the Elite jump Dax, and out comes a returning Darby Allin dressed like a pimp to make the save and close the show. Because, ladies and gentlemen, it's hard out here for a pimp. That's the Dynamite.
Trying to get the money for the rent. Whoop that trick.
Was he not dressed like a pimp? Who wears a purple fur coat? This dude was like,
the Darby,
I got hit by a bus and survived.
Yeah, that's
how is he here? Is this guy? Is he an AI? He's an AI. Darby's an AI, right?
He's got to be. He's
not
got to
real.
be something.
There's 0% chance this guy's a human being.
No,
Terminator, some from the past. Sarah Connor.
Dude broke his foot. Has he got ran over by a bus just a
While his
couple
foot
weeks
was still
ago.
broken, right? I'm assuming it's
Yeah. And now here he is back, and he's with Team AEW. And why? I mean, okay, it makes sense, and it makes sense, but it also doesn't make sense to me because
Okay.
he has history with the Young Bucks from the whole thing with Sting at AEW Revolution, and so he has his beef with the Young Bucks. He's also a pillar, so I'm happy to see that 2 of the 4 pillars are in this AEW versus the Elite match, which I think is cool. That's the way it should have been. I feel like it should have been all 4 of the pillars should have been involved, but I like that 2 of the 4 are at least involved. But I'm also like, why is he involved when it was Jay White that took him out with the broken foot? So why is he not going after Jay? Like, this is what AEW does. Like, they have a story, and then they're like playing fetch with the dog. They have a really cool story, and then but as soon as that dog sees a squirrel, they go in a completely different direction. So they're like, oh, squirrel, boom, they're gone. And that's exactly what's happening with AEW right now, because Jay White is the one that hurt Darby Allin, but let's have him in team. Jay White's too busy with Pac. Why not have Darby Allin come back at Double or Nothing and help Pac over Jay White, and then keep him separated from this? That way you set up a future feud. You have a story. There's history there. But no, they're just going to sweep that under the rug like it never happened. And he's going to be with Team AEW. And it also, like, he's an injury risk. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm worried. We talk about Edge's health. I'm worried about Darby's health in this match. It's Anarchy in the arena. There's going to be some crazy spots. How Darby Allin is a human daredevil. So I am worried about all this. I don't think that, I like that 2 of the 4 pillars are in this, but I'm not, I don't know. This just feels like we need somebody. So let's get Darby back, and they're rushing him back.
I mean, I see your point. I didn't hate it as much as you. I actually predicted and it said it should have been him more than Bryan Danielson and Eddie Kingston.
It makes more sense. It makes more sense than Danielson.
Yeah, I was okay with Kingston because he will only be employed by AEW. That guy's trash. So he's obviously an AEW dude. But I would have preferred Guevara and Darby just because I do want the pillars. I think if you're a pillar, MJF, Bryan Danielson, I saw people on, because I posted about it on TikTok, and they're all like, well, yeah, but behind the scenes, and he's this and that. Okay, well, this isn't behind. Stop with AEW behind the scenes. If you're not airing it, I don't know what the hell's going on. So I'm not going to pretend that I do. That's not how I watch a show. I watch a show as what is given. I'm not watching a show as in, I know this guy from here, or I know that, Darby Allin's this in real life, or that the Young Bucks are nice, or they do this. You don't need to show me CM Punk footage. I want to know what's going on in your story, in your ring. That's what I want. That's why Bryan Danielson didn't make any sense. But I don't mind it. I just am more impressed at the fact that he is already back and doing his damn thing. Also, no offense to Dax. You just had him like almost barely beat a nobody. And now you have a Dax Harwood who's really not a singles competitor. And I'm assuming they're only picking Dax as the other guy just got off for shooting people. But Okada, we're having Okada struggle to beat Dax Harwood in a main event. Once again, AEW, I get it. You like 25-minute matches. It's your thing. But everybody doesn't have to have it. Like, Okada and Dax are not on the same wavelength. And I know you're trying to make it that way to make it kind of feel like Dax. And I know that's countering what I just said, but Dax just struggled. Maybe if Dax would have smashed Tommy Billington and then went into this a little bit heavy, but I still don't buy Okada. Dax is a tag team wrestler. There's levels to this. Okada is a freaking beast, and you're having him barely, like, he struggled to beat Dax before. I don't know. Once again, I'm not clowning AEW because I actually don't think it was that bad. Collision, Rampage, Dynamite, and we'll get more into Dynamite. But it's always the execution, man. It's like you have what you're doing correctly. You're just not putting in it's like Tony Khan just doesn't know wrestling. And I know people are going to say, well, what do you know any more than him? I don't. But as a fan, I know what I like to see. And I don't like to see somebody like Okada struggle to beat Dax. It's just not what I want to see right now. So I want to see Okada dominate.
And not every match. Yeah, I want to see Dax Harwood dominate. You need to keep them separated. Dax Harwood should be dominating his matches, and Okada should be dominating their matches. So when they actually do square up against each other, you have no idea who's going to win. Have Team AEW dominate in every match. Have Team Elite dominate in every match. And then boom, oh man, this is going to be a hard one to tell. It's going to be too close to call. We don't really know. It's going to be hard to predict. So that's my problem. And then the double booking. Like it's really,
dude,
you know,
nonstop.
it's not like we were talking offline about Harley Cameron and Saraya versus Tony Storm and Mariah May. Like you wouldn't even know that Tony Storm is feuding with Serena Deeb right now. Serena Deeb is having a women's title match at Double or Nothing, and you wouldn't even know it because of all this stuff going on with Saraya and Harley Cameron. Just like you wouldn't have even known on the opening of Dynamite that Bryan Danielson has a match with the Elite in Anarchy in the Arena because he's teaming up with, well, who was it? Was it him and Moxley?
Mox.
Yeah, him and Mox against the Don Callis family of all people. And then afterwards, like Takeshita's coming out and beating up Moxley. And it's like, okay, but I get you want to set up that feud, but why not have the Young Bucks come out and beat up Bryan Danielson while they're at it, or do something to kind of intertwine the two? But no, it's just like, okay, well, we're going to tell this story, and then we're going to tell this story, and it's just, it makes no. I don't understand it. Like the double booking in AEW is just, it's too much sometimes.
Well, and then we can get into the fact that now Takeshita has to wrestle Moxley at a pay-per-view to earn a shot at the title. He's not even getting a title shot.
Yeah.
Who the hell has an eliminator match at a pay-per-view against a champion? An eliminator match is me and you to wrestle to see who faces the champion, not the champion and that person to face. Like, that's not how it. If you're facing the champ, it's either title or non-title. It's no freaking eliminator. It's just stupid. Imagine if you were a real fighter in the UFC and they're like, yo, you beat the middleweight champ. Guess what, homie? I win the belt. You get another chance to fight him to win the championship. Does that sound good? No, it doesn't. Then why am I fighting him? It's just lazy booking. With that said, I want to go into Swerve too really quick because I get it. I like it, but I also don't. Swerve now defeated the Gates of Agony, and now he's defeating Brian Cage. So is that it? Are we done? That whole turn was over within 7 days from Dynamite to Dynamite. He just defeated the crew, and so now their Mogul Embassy is done, and we're moving on. And is it weird to Swerve Strickland was a heel? He went to Nick Wayne's house, was like a year ago, beat him up in his own house, and did the picture frame thing, and now he's a baby face. So we're bringing up that, and so now Nick Wayne's doing it to him. But doesn't that remind you that Swerve Strickland was once a piece of shit? Like I know now in wrestling, because WWE does this now too, that we're not in the Vince McMahon era where like things never happened, and I do get that. But when you're trying to push your new champion and make him this like superior baby face, why are we having him? Or the fans brought up the fact that he was once a piece of garbage. That doesn't seem like to me. And once again, there was no reaction, bruv. I'm telling you, I think Tony Khan and AEW have ruined Swerve Strickland. I'm not saying it completely, and I think Christian Cage can save him at Double or Nothing, but it's just like, you got this champion, man. Even these ratings were what, 650,000 or something, 630,000.
Yeah.
And his segment was one of the lowest. That should not be freaking happening. Swerve Strickland is a star. It's because of the booking that they have given him. Stop booking Tony Khan to the 30 people on Twitter. Stop. Those 30 people mean shit. They're going to watch your product no matter freaking what, Tony Khan. Stop booking for the 30 people on X. Book to the public. Book to wrestling fans. Get some people on your damn show. They deserve better. But what do you think? Are you okay with all this? Or you disagree with me? Or do you think it's okay to bring back old shit? Or
I think it's fine. I don't have a problem with it, right? They're trying to tell a story. It's character development. Maybe he was a piece of shit, but he's not anymore. He's changed. He's different. So I do appreciate it from that standpoint. But I don't know. This whole segment fell flat for me, and then just the picture frame stuff, and then the gushing of the blood. It's just
why bleeding
like
again?
Too much. I mean, I get that the patriarchy is dominant, and you want them to look strong. You want to make it look like Swerve's he's got to overcome the odds again to retain his championship. But I don't know, man. Like cutting off the dreadlock, I was fine with a couple weeks ago, but this week now he's like, and it looked like, I mean, he got hit with a picture frame and like blood was just gushing out of him. Like it looked like I don't know what that was.
I don't think it was on purpose. It looked like he got cut right around the brow, which is like the worst cut you can get.
Yeah. But man, like not everything has to be crazy violent. You can tell a story without throwing a punch. You can tell a story without hitting somebody with a damn picture frame. Like you can, there's different ways you can go about this, but I don't know. I'm not really like, I was digging this at first, and now I'm just kind of like, all right, I'm ready to get this match over with and have Swerve move on to somebody else. I have Christian Cage will do his part. Christian Cage will put on a banger of a match. I'm not knocking that at all. And I think that that Swerve, I think he can recover from this, but he needs a good opponent. Not a good opponent, but somebody credible the next in the next like an MJF. A returning MJF would be perfect. A rematch against Samoa Joe, a grudge match this time with Adam Page. I think something like that can really help elevate him again. But you know, this is a good first feud for him, but I'm kind of ready for it to be done.
All right. Let's end with some good. There was some good on this show. Where do you want to start? There's some good. Let's go with the goods.
I love what they're doing with Willow Nightingale. I think, I mean, she is right now, in my opinion, carrying that women's division on AEW. And, you know, I think what AEW is doing with their women's division is absolutely phenomenal. And I'm happy to see it. You know, you have Harley Cameron, Saraya, Serena Deeb, Toni Storm, all in the main event-ish scene. And now you have the women's mid-card scene, having Willow Nightingale and Mercedes Mone. That's that last segment, that promo that Willow Nightingale cut. You can tell you can tell that she's having the time of her life right now. You can tell that she loves this. You can tell that she is on cloud 9 and is happy to be in AEW, which you can just feel her passion in the promo. It doesn't feel forced. It doesn't feel like, you know, man, I'm happy to be here. It just feels like it's from the heart, which I really love. Yeah. So, and I know you've talked about how you think they should change course and have Mercedes win, or have Mercedes lose and have Willow Nightingale retain. I'm in full agreement there. I think Willow Nightingale needs to retain over Mercedes. The crowd is starting to turn on Mercedes a little bit, and I think they need to feed into that and turn her heel. And I think her career would be so much better in AEW as a heel.
Well, they've ruined Mercedes, so she has to be a heel, because now people legitimately hate her. They don't like that wasn't like, boo your character. That was like, no, this chick just like came in, thought she was a shit, and has done literally nothing. You know that she is not over anymore when she cut probably the best promo she's done in AEW, and they booed her. They wanted nothing to do with her. They were either silent or booing. When she got put through the table, it was a standing flipping ovation. Yeah. I think what needs to happen, I know we got predictions for our next episode before this coming up weekend, but I think Willow wins. They go to shake hands, and Mercedes beats the snot out of her, continuing the feud, turning heel, and then we can have Mercedes win at the next pay-per-view later on. But I think Willow needs to keep it. I think they need to drag this on a little bit. I just think if you give her the belt, Mercedes, right now, and don't turn her, and even if you do, I just don't think it's ready. I think the fans will continue to just not like her. I think they're done with her. I don't think they want anything to do with her anymore. She is just they ruined her. What was the point of making her the highest paid wrestler, basically, if that's the way and this isn't just like us. This is like AEW hardcore fans are even confused by Mercedes. It's just been really shit poor booking. I mean, poor Mercedes. She's better than that.
She hasn't had a single match, and they've already turned on her too, which is crazy.
Crazy. I agree. I want to talk about too that I like what they did with the Elite this week. I know we had our disagreements at the end, but showing that footage of them going to New Japan Pro Wrestling, beating the snot
that was
Kingston,
cool.
the promos they cut afterwards, the fact that he was injured, I like it all. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm all for them having some Reebok pumps. I know Tony Khan's living his childhood dream of wanting to relive the freaking early 90s, but the pump is dope. Yeah. I looked him up though, $180. Nah, I ain't buying that shit. I was thinking about buying them. I was like, oh, I'm gonna get them, and I looked at them like 180. I ain't paying 180 for no Reebok pumps.
It's weird that the Young Bucks have Reebok pumps, and then WWE just released, or Roman Reigns has Jordan 12s that have his little Jumpman logo on them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know how much they are, but yeah,
$300.
Probably.
Yeah.
But those shoes that he wears, and it's gonna have like the Roman doing the Superman punch instead of the Jumpman.
Oh, that is dope.
Yeah, they look pretty cool. But the pumps also look fantastic, and I like what they did with the Bucks too. The Bucks are growing on me in terms of playing assholes. You know, at first I was kind of like, okay, like you can tell that these guys don't want to do this stuff, but now they're really coming into their own. Jack Perry pouring The
Oh
bottle
god.
on the drink on Tony Schiavone's head was fantastic. He's getting better and better, even though
Mhm.
he still kind of feels like the third wheel in this whole
He
thing.
is.
I
Yeah.
wish he was more of the star. He should be the centerpiece of this whole thing.
Mhm.
But yeah, I could do without them getting Christopher Daniels involved and firing Christopher Daniels and all that.
That was who cares? Yeah.
But I like how you never know when the Bucks are going to show up, and they come out and they beat
Mhm.
up Eddie Kingston and broke his leg, and now he's hurt, and that's set up for Darby Allin. So
Mhm.
I am digging what they're doing with the Young Bucks. I'm digging what they're doing with the Elite. I liked all of that. I'm excited for this match. I think this match is going to be hard to predict because we'll talk about it when we get into predictions in the next week's episode. But I think this Anarchy in the Arena match, it's got to go a certain way for people to be invested.
Mhm. Well, and they just need to stay focused. Like this week with Rampage Collision being combined again and Dynamite, let's stay focused. Let's not just have them do
Yeah.
other things as well. I wanted to end it on this. Adam Copeland. I actually liked it, minus the wedding ring, just because I didn't get why
Yeah,
they.
what are they? Is
Is it
Beth
'cause
Phoenix
it's
going to come
precious?
back? Yeah.
Yeah, does it mean something to him? It was very, very weird. But I like Adam Copeland coming out for a promo and just getting the shit beat out of him. I
Yeah,
like
that was
that. I
well
like that
done.
they never had a chance. I'm actually, if it wasn't a barbed wire, I just hate that like these guys are being forced to resort to bleeding nonstop. That isn't what wrestling is. But Adam Copeland and Malaki Black's a banger. We'll get into predictions, but I don't know, man. I don't know. He finally gets a single run. You can't have Malaki Black lose, right?
No.
I mean, he's looking hot right now.
And the House
Good
of
shit.
Black's looking
So,
strong. Yeah,
mhm,
this is how the House of
mhm.
Black should always be booked. This
I
is how
agree.
they should always be. So
I agree. I agree.
I
All
do.
right.
But
Oh, go ahead.
on that point, I want them, the crowd, really. I know Brody King is awesome. I love Brody King, but can we stop with
Mhm.
the damn barking? Like Pat McAfee was doing that on Raw with
Oh,
Braun Breaker. He
gosh.
was "Arr, arr, arr,
Yeah.
arr, 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 arr,"
Ugh.
like with
He
Michael
wouldn't
Cole.
stop.
No, he wouldn't stop. And now AEW fans are doing it with Brody
Mhm,
King every turn.
mhm,
I get that he's over, and I appreciate that, but
mhm.
man, that barking is super. Arr, arr, arr,
Yeah.
is so bad. Just come
Yes,
up
it
with
is.
something. Just chant his name. Just chant his name.
Right? Anything but bark.
Yeah.
Please stop barking like a damn dog. All right, man. That's our week in review of AEW. It was a good week, not
It
an
was.
awful week. It had its ups and downs. I know we shat on Collision and Rampage, but just because I just feel like why do great but not have a purpose? Like, let's keep it all relevant.
Yeah.
Let's not bring
Stay
random
focused.
guys in before the pay-per-view to try to get them over. Like, let's stay our lane. And we'll get into what we thought was the best show, whether it was Monday Night Raw, SmackDown, NXT, Rampage, Collision, or Dynamite. But let's get into our first segment, and that is report card time, where we're going to give each other a couple things that are happening and what we think. Is it an A, B, C, D, or an F? As always, the man with the plan, Ryan Enjoys Wrestling, goes first. What you got for me, homie?
All right, I got some good ones for you. We didn't talk about this one, but
Okay.
I want you to give a grade to Chris Jericho's learning tree gimmick. So far,
Man, I've been all over the place with it because it's like getting good and then it kind of falters. All right, I'm gonna say B minus. I'm gonna do B minus because
Okay.
here's the thing, and this is the main reason why. Okay, Chris Jericho was dead a month ago, 4 weeks. He was dead. I
Yeah.
said he needs to retire. He needs not retire, but I said he needs to move on, take a break, or go back to WWE and have a retirement run and go into the Hall of Fame. The crowd hated him. He changed his music. They were booing him, this and that. This guy was able to change his music again, bring in Big Bill, and smile with a thumbs up. And now he's over again. He's like, once again, one of the bigger heels. People freaking hate him now. He's getting a reaction. They did do that funny chant with him and Hook where they chanted him to retire. And he had a great comeback. You don't want that. I know you guys want me to because I'll go into every single pro wrestling Hall of Fame and you want to see that for me. But you guys don't want me to retire. Great stuff. Just shows why he is probably top 10 all time. The dude just knows what he's doing. But there's also misses. Like the thing with Hook this week was kind of like a miss. Why are Hook and Shibata fighting each other? Why is Samoa Joe not like, why are we bringing back once again, double booking? But I'm going to say B minus just because he was like dead in the water and now he's breathing and alive again. He came out of his coma.
Yeah. No, it's I agree. I give it a B minus as well. It's really growing on me. It's getting better and better. And yeah, I mean, like you said, the man was dead in the water just 4 weeks ago, and here he is getting this new gimmick over. The man can reinvent himself better than nobody.
All right. I'm going to throw you one that you're not even going to be prepared for. It's going to shock you. This guy we didn't talk about. I like this guy a lot. I dig him, and I don't understand why he hasn't really made his way to AEW yet. But I want you to grade what you think of or what you've seen of him. Dalton Castle. What do you grade Dalton Castle? In-ring, performance, anything you want to, just him as a wrestler. I every time he pops up, I think he's must-see TV. I love his entrance. I love his in-ring ability, his look. I don't get why he's stuck in ROH, but nonetheless, I thought I would throw this at you, a curveball. What do you think of Dalton Castle?
I'll go B-. Every time he's on screen, I'm digging it. He's just not on my screen enough. And he's, I feel like he's in ROH. He's kind of, I don't want to call that purgatory, but it feels like he's hard to find. I have to like really do some digging to find him. When he is on Dynamite, the man is fantastic. When he's on Rampage or Collision, he's awesome. His matches are good, but then we won't see him for 3 to 4 weeks. So I'm gonna give him a B- because I think he's got a bright future ahead of him for sure.
Imagine him, man. He even, all his boys were fired, and then he got new ones, and they're hilarious. And the way he walks up them to get into the ring, the way he pulls something out of his hand and he feeds all those little peacocks, it's hilarious. And he's actually good in the ring. He's a thicker dude. He's not like super muscular, but he's not out of shape.
Yeah,
he's got a good little look. He wears those high-waisted, shorts, but it still works for him. And I mean, he made this match this past week look good. He makes everybody who wrestles look good. I think it was Trent Beretta. He makes people just look good. I like him. I'm all for Dalton Castle. I think he needs to get a push. AEW for sure. Or let him go to WWE, but I think he's better than ROH. So
yeah, 100%.
That's my opinion. All
right. Last one.
Last one. What you got?
Let's do. Okay. So AEW, they still don't have a TV deal. Nothing was announced last week, which they had the big Warner Brothers Discovery upfronts, which is when they announced their fall lineup and everything. And they haven't announced a new TV deal. So if in fact this is the end of AEW's run on Warner Brothers Discovery and TBS and TNT, and I'm not saying that it is, I'm just saying if it is, grade AEW's entire 5-year run on TBS and TNT.
Oh, that's a brutal question. Number one, if they're not getting a Turner TV deal, then they better be Tony Khan. I don't think they are. If they would, isn't their deal like up like this year?
Yeah, they would have. I feel like they would have announced it, but they just got a new video game on, and they got a new TV show on YouTube.
That's a mobile game. And that TV show is awful.
Yeah.
But you can do that. They just, they're just copying WWE, and it's stupid. You can do that's all free. A mobile game that costs Tony Khan nothing.
Yeah,
that's $3.99. And the YouTube, we can have a YouTube eating thing with IWC creators. We should actually, but like nonetheless, I think if they would have already done it. What I'm hoping is that they get a streaming deal because I don't know if you know, but Disney Plus just like worked a deal out with Max. So now they're part of the Disney family. So it's Max, Disney, Hulu, ESPN all in one. That's a freaking, if you can get on Max now, that's a damn win. But Max was just sponsored on Raw or SmackDown or one of the shows. So who knows? Their entire run, that's rough because
it's had ups and downs.
Their first half is probably close to an A+. I mean, they survived the COVID era and all the beginning. I mean, they were so hot. They were they were in the millions in TV ratings. As soon as Cody Rhodes left, which might have been less than half, but as soon as Cody Rhodes left, it's done nothing but sink. And Brandy and Cody have both come out and said Tony wanted to go a certain direction. We didn't want to go there. I think that direction was he had full freaking say in everything that goes on. And I think Cody knew you can't have somebody who knows nothing about wrestling run a wrestling show. The shit has sunk the bed. So I'm going to say a C at best. I'll give it a C because I think I actually think the back run has been close to an F. The front run's been an A. The back run's been, so you average that out, it's a C. I mean, I don't understand how Tony Khan doesn't look to what he was doing and think, let's get back to that. There were stories. There were good matches. You had both. And now it's just random shit happening. And it's just, I'm sorry to break it to the AEW hardcore fans because I want AEW to survive. We watch it. I love it. But if your viewership is going down that bad and to that range, there's a reason, man. We have to stop. We have to stop blaming society, right? Sooner or later, it's not everybody else. It's you. So, but yeah, I'd say a C.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna go a D. I'm gonna go a little
Ooh.
just because, like you said, probably the last 2 or 3 years of AEW has really been it hasn't been very good. And I think the
Mhm.
bad outweighs the good, in my opinion. You had Cody Rhodes leaving, which was a detrimental blow. Then you had CM Punk get hurt and he had to relinquish the title. And then
Twice.
yeah. But the first time, we didn't really know what was going on, and then he was
Mhm.
gone. So their big ratings draw was gone. MJF has been, he's been gone a lot. I mean, he missed a lot of 2022. He was in there for a lot of 2023, and now he's out for all of 2024. And then all the stuff that happened behind the scenes with CM Punk, and then him leaving and holding up people hot, and it was the fact that it was getting out, and then the backstage morale, John Moxley going on podcasts saying that everyone in AEW is a bunch of whiners and complainers, and just all this stuff. I got to give it a D. I mean, I think the product, when it's clicking, but when it's struggling, it's really struggling. And lately it's been clicking, and I'm hoping they can get back into they can get back into that positive direction. But yeah, they've been really struggling lately.
Well, we'll see. Like I said, last week was a bunch of randomness, and that's the key problem.
And the 600,000 viewers don't help.
Yeah. Yes, sir. All right. You ready? Last one.
Yep. Go for it.
Grade your excitement level for next week's Double or Nothing.
I'm gonna go B+. I'm pretty pumped about it. We get to see Malaki Black in his first singles match in 18 years. We get to see Swerve Strickland versus Christian Cage. I have no doubt that match is going to be off the chains. We're going to see Willow Nightingale and Mercedes Mone. Mercedes making her debut in AEW, her in-ring debut. Willow Nightingale's, on the best run of her career. There's still the whole Chris Statlander outlier there. Like, is she going to turn? Is Willow going to turn on her, or her and Mercedes together? Like, there's all that stuff. Toni Storm and Serena Deeb. I was digging the excitement of this match, but now, like, with all the shenanigans lately, I'm just kind of like, okay, I'm ready for this match to be done. The storyline with the Young Bucks and the Elite and Team AEW. I mean, I feel like it's a story, and they've got me intrigued. So I'm excited about Double or Nothing. I'm going to give it a B+. There's a bunch of randomness, and like, what are we doing with the Bang Bang Scissor Gang? I know that Jay White's involved with not the Bang Bang Gang, but I know Jay White's involved with Pac. But what about the Trios Championships? Or the tag title, like the tag titles aren't being defended. So I just wish that more belts were defended. Is Hook and Jericho, are they going to have a match at Double or Nothing? Feels like they're leaning that way, but I don't think it's been announced yet. So yeah, so it's there's been some bumps in the road, but I like the fact that there's been a build for this show, and we haven't waited until the week of the show to put all the matches together, which AEW has been known to do. I
agree with you. I'm going to say A-. I'm a little bit more excited. And adding in, like, even though it's an eliminator match, Mox and Okada, I mean, this is a pretty stacked card. Storylines are not. The matches are going to be good. And there's one thing AEW does well. It is pay-per-views, because they know how to deliver good matches, and that's all they focus on this pay-per-view. And I'm intrigued. You know what I mean? Are the bad guys, are the Elite going to beat AEW? And if so, who's going to come out? Is somebody going to come out and help them to join their side? Are we going to have a turn? Are we going to have Kenny Omega turn? Are we going to have MJF return? There's so many, like, intriguing aspects to it. So I am looking forward to it. So I'll say mine's about an A-. So
okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. No, good stuff. Good stuff.
All right. You ready? It's time. We got to do best of the week. Are we going to go with last week's SmackDown, Monday Night Raw, NXT, Collision and Rampage, or Dynamite? Who do you got? We didn't agree the first week, but we both had AEW. Last week we agreed, both had WWE. This week, what are we going to do? Who was your best of the week? Your weekly winner.
Okay. I'm going to go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 like I usually do. So I'm going to go NXT is last, in my opinion. Like, NXT needs some. I know that they're kind of at a lull period. I just feel like they need some stars. They don't. Trick Williams not being on the show this week was a huge miss. Him feuding with Noam Dar is just kind of, it feels, after everything with Carmelo and everything with Tony Dean, like, now he's got Noam Dar, and it's just feels like a huge loss, or a step down. So NXT, in my opinion, was the worst of the week. And then I'm going to go Collision and Rampage at number 4. SmackDown number 3. And then AEW Dynamite number 2. And then Monday Night Raw from this past Monday at number 1. I think the wrestling on Monday Night Raw was fantastic. They were able to tell more stories. The Damian Priest, Drew McIntyre promo was fantastic. There's just a lot of good stuff going on. I'm feeling everything with Monday Night Raw. The King of the Ring tournament has been the matches have been great. Jey Uso beating Dragunov to move on to the semifinals. It was a good way to end the show. Curious to see. I'm intrigued to watch the next week's episode of Raw to see if he beats Gunther. So yeah, there's a lot of excitement right now with King and Queen of the Ring, and I think Monday Night Raw had the better of the WWE shows and the best show of the week.
All right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Number 5. I'm gonna do Collision Rampage, only because it was too random for me. It was just random stuff put together, so I got to put it at my bottom. Number 4. I'm gonna go NXT. I don't hate Noam Dar wrestling Trick as much as you do. I think he's a star, and I think at least it's a good. I mean, Trick needs to beat somebody right now. He can't just be wrestling people where he might lose. And I did like Sol Ruka and other good things. Tony D winning his first, belt to his own was fun, and amongst other things. Number 3, though, I got Dynamite, just a little bit behind number 2. It's close. I did like Dynamite. I don't think it was as bad as I possibly had made it out to sound like. But that's my number 3. Number 2, I got SmackDown. Very, very close as well to being number 1. I like Solo. I like what they were doing with everything. I like the focus on the tournament. I liked Cody Rhodes, with the Logan Paul thing being announced. I'm excited for it. But my number 1 has to be Monday Night Raw. Just so much, just for story-wise driven. I think Raw is the winner. Yeah, just everything with it. I mean, it was Priest's best promo. Drew and Drew went at it. I mean, Liv Morgan attacking Becky Lynch. I mean, the main event, the moving on in the tournament, even the Sami Zayn stuff, everything's just kind of clicking right now. And how can I go against a week where Judgment Day looks so damn dominant finally for the first time ever? So my weekly winner is Monday Night Raw as well. So
yeah,
there you have it.
It was a good week. It was a good week in WWE and AEW, and it was hard to choose. It was hard to choose, honestly. But this was.
I agree.
This is when wrestling's at its best.
It has been. And some pros now are saying it's better than the Attitude Era time. So
yeah,
I mean, each its own. But there you go. That's another week. AEW in the books, our weekly winners, and so on for Two Dudes with Attitudes, a wrestling podcast. As always, keep subscribing. Keep liking, keep the comments. I like seeing the comments. I replied. I think it's fun. I'm glad you guys, and there were 2 positive comments, which were great. And yes, we're hoping to grow. If you like us, spread the word, man. That's how you get popular, right? You got to share our links, send it to other friends you have that like wrestling. Get it out there, man. I think for the most unknown and purely fan-based wrestling podcast, I think we're the best, man. I think no one does it better, and we always give our honest opinion. So keep tuning in. As always, if you just want to check me out, it's at HBD Denton on all your social media outlets. And with me, as always, the man who creates everything, the one and only
Ryan enjoys wrestling. Like he said, go follow us on YouTube. Keep subscribing. Keep helping us grow. Go follow me on all the social platforms out there. Go follow us at Two Dudes with Attitudes on TikTok and at Two Dudes PC on X. We are blowing up, and this is going to be our year, man. 2024, year of the dudes. And if you're listening to us on audio and Spotify, Apple, all that, leave us a 5-star rating and review. Help us grow there as well. We want this to be not just a YouTube thing. We want it to be everywhere you get your podcast. So appreciate all the love and support. And this is our year. We're growing. We're going to take over in 2024.
Well said. Wolfpack, Two Dudes, we out.
Let's go. It's the 2 dudes and our attitudes ruthless, aggressively speaking. So let's do this. We're Ryan and Denton. They here to get your attention. A 5-star broadcast. Shit. Start to the ending. Whether it's the E or it's all E. The 2 dudes with the attitudes that bring the heat. Get the point, yeah, it's on, time to lock in. Listen to the podcast where they get it poppin'.